Foundation, Dr. Dennis Edger, will be joined by a survivor of bladder cancer, Mani Osifo, who's the CEO of Eno Foundation, and they will be sharing experience, of both survival and a whole lot of other issues regarding bladder cancer in a moment. Good morning, Dr. Dennis. Good to see you, Dr. Edger. I can't hear you. Could you check your device? Okay, here you are. Could you check your device, please, if it's muted? I don't seem to be able to hear you. I still can hear you, Dr. Dennis. All right, we hope to rejoin Dr. Dennis Edger, who'll be talking about bladder cancer today with us.
I can hear you now, can't I?
Okay, great. I can hear you now. Good morning and compliments of the season.
Good morning. Same to you.
Oh, yeah. Good morning and well done. You have the floor now.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another edition of Cancer with Dr. Denise Edger. It's compliments of the season. I think that's the right thing to be saying now. And thank you for joining us. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be having some very interesting chats on where we go forward with bladder cancer. So thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Denise Edger, and we're starting this program with our introductions. Thank you, Kakaki. Today it's good morning, viewers, and welcome to another edition of Cancer with Kakaki Cancer Awareness with Denise Edger, the CEO of Como Cancer Foundation. Thank you for joining me. And in the house today, I've got a special guest, Mani Osifo. Hello, Mani. How are you? Can you hear me? And can you hear?
I can hear you very well, Doc. Good morning. Compliments of the season.
Same to you. And now compliments of the season to all our viewers. We're drawing to the end of the year, another year. We've had a lot of things going on. Thank you, viewers, for joining us again. Today we're going to be talking about bladder cancer and what we know about bladder cancer and how we want to take bladder cancer forward. So I want to start this conversation, but firstly, Mani is a bladder cancer survivor who currently resides in the US, and he's going to be talking to us about a lot of the stuff based on his own experiences as a bladder cancer survivor. Mani, are you ready for me to start?
Go ahead. You caught me before going to bed.
I'm glad I did. Your time difference, I'm glad you did it. Thank you for staying up to do this. And so I'm going to start the questions very quickly. Let's go. First question. Global statistics indicate that approximately 75% of bladder cancer patients survive. With this in mind, please share your story, and then we'll go back to Nigeria. So
well, first off, I want to thank your viewers and some of my friends that have taken time to be here today. And thanks for that statistics. Well, it interests you to know that 25 years ago, bladder cancer was actually terminal, and I thank God for technology. My journey started 2013 when I had moved to Nigeria, and then I just came here briefly to visit my kids, and I was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and my world came to an end, so I decided to stay back. I fought bladder cancer for about 5 years. After 3 very successful surgeries and a few sessions of chemo, voila, I have a second chance at life, and I'm living it to the fullest. But the symptoms, when I was in Nigeria, I was being treated for hematuria or UTI. Hematuria being blood in the urine. So when your blood changes to orange, you have to be very careful. You have to make sure that they dig deep to find out what is happening. Well, thank God I am here. So most of my surgeries were robotic, but guided by very, very good hands. And like I said, after 3 very successful surgeries, I had regrowths, but they didn't metastasize, thank God. And a few sessions of chemo, I am alive to talk about it.
Wow. So you're going to tell me a few things about this experience. First and foremost, what would you describe firstly by um, your challenges with it? Because like you just started off, you said you were in Nigeria, you went on holiday and you found it, and they didn't. Like I now tell people, I say you examine, you rethink yourself and your status. So based on that, what would be your views? What would be your challenges first? Let's look at your challenges, and then we look at it.
Yeah, for 2 years, because I lived in the US for a long time and then decided to move back to Nigeria to run my family business, Osequip, which is the foremost office and banking automation firm in Nigeria. So I moved over there. And the last 2 years before I came on that visit, anytime I go pee, I'll see blood. So I was kind of, second guessing myself. Do I have female reproductive organ or what? What's happening here? So I checked myself into a hospital, spent a lot of money the last 2 years. Anytime I go in, sometimes I recall one of my trip, I was going to Abuja, and I got into my hotel, and the whole of my pants, I had blood all over, and I'm like, what's this? So I went to the hospital over there, and I was diagnosed with a UTI, and they kept pumping me with antibiotics, and then it will go, and then it will reoccur again. Well, the challenges were over here after I got here, and I was diagnosed with bladder cancer. My first surgery lasted 6 hours, and after every surgery, you have to wear a catheter for sometimes 2 weeks. So you can imagine having an external body you're carrying around, and there was no economic activity. You just have to be going in for dressing and all that. I did that for 4 years. I can tell you, Dr. Ejo, it wasn't fun at all. It wasn't fun at all. But I thank God that I'm here, and I was able to go through that journey and came out on the other side alive. And that's my fear. So after I went into remission in 2018, like I said, that's my fear for Nigeria. I can imagine what people over there are going through. So that was why I started my foundation, ENO Foundation, to create awareness, eradicate cancer, provide education for our doctors over there in the field of urology. And the ultimate goal is to build a urology center of excellence in Nigeria.
Also, we've got a lot of aspirations for us in Nigeria. I'm very glad. I'm going to pick up on some of the key things you said, because one of the things we have to be very mindful of is making sure that as patients, because we are patients, we're not doctors. And I like the way you've talked about it, because when you talk about bladder cancer and the uncomfortable experience that you had going through the process, your 5 years of being hospitalized, having to use the catheter. Okay, first and foremost, we need to say, what is a catheter? Please, can you quickly explain what a catheter is?
Well, it is an external. Sure, that's a good question. It is an external bag that runs through a tube through your, I'm going to be a little bit graphic here now, through your ureter to allow the free flow of wee, because your bladder is sore. It's a very sensitive part of the body, so haven't been scraped. By the way, like I said, my surgeries were performed by robots, so they have to wait for your bladder to heal before anything liquid can touch it. So that way you're passing urine through the bag, and you have to empty the bag every time, and it's so painful. If that bag shifts, you have to go back to the hospital to get it fixed.
Oh, okay. You see, now it's interesting because you have had your surgery using the robots. That's quite nice.
Yes.
It's interesting. Yes. It's interesting because when we're talking about this in Nigeria, we're trying to look at it and want the Nigerian space and the medical space to actually come on board with some of these 21st century technologies, as the impacts they have give a lot of us a second chance. I always say to people, anybody that has cancer is a second chance. it's left to you to use it wisely or not. But from your everyday experience, what were your highs? How did you find it? And I'm going to give you one example. So, for instance, although the lows of the disease, of navigating the disease, you know, how you feel, what were your highs? What were the things that made you happy? Because a lot of people that go through this diagnosis are not unhappy. They've got a lot of baggage, especially in Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much for that question, Doc. I would say my lows, because for the past, well, all through the time I went through it, you know, like we all know, cancer. When you hear cancer, you think it's a death sentence, you know. But I was very depressed. But my highs came from my therapist and my urologist, you know. And anytime I go in for my check, these checks are done with all sorts of technology, cameras that go in. But the doctor will definitely show you the screen to say, hey, you see, we're not finding anything here. So that again gives me a lot of encouragement until when, after my last surgery, we went back in and they didn't find anything because they had to change my chemo treatment, you know. So after they changed it from BCG to mitomycin, that was what did the magic. Now, I'm calling medical names like I'm a doctor, but I went through the journey, so I understand. So my greatest high was when I went in after a year, after going in for because you have to go in for 3 months, 6 months, and a year. And the doctor said, thank God, Mr. Sifo, you're in remission. We got it. We did it. Oh my God. That was when my joy started. And I've started living my second gift at life to the fullest. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, because one of the things, I think this is a Christmas season, and it's a season of hope to a lot of people. It's just trying to get people that are going through disease to know that I live with it, you've had it, you've come out of it, I haven't come out of it, but we can still have a good smile. So now, next question I'm going to ask is, from your experience, what do you think can be done nationally to help improve the quality of lives of people affected by cancer, especially in Nigeria? Bearing in mind, like you said, your friends are watching now, and they would really want you to help other people have a voice, some hope.
Thank you very much, Doc. First and foremost is I want every male, every Nigerian male above 40 to take their health very seriously. The body's like a car, you know, that runs. You have to continue to check it. Otherwise, there are a lot of people dying from cancer in Nigeria, but they think it's malaria or it's typhoid. But no. So you must be on top of your numbers. That's number one. Then number two, like I said, if you notice anything, let's assume your urine changes color to orange, just know that you've got to dig deep. So stay on top. And then another thing I want to advise is make sure that every year you get a physical. Because in my own case, it was stage 2, but the good thing was, you can imagine after 2 years, it was stage 2, but the good thing was it was caught early. So early detection is the key. Another thing I want to advise is education. We really need to educate our doctors. Most doctors are not taking urology as a specialization just because there's no resources and the hospitals are not funded. So we need to. And again, you would agree with me that the female Nigerians they're more aware about their health, they're more concerned, but the men are not. So this time around, there has to be a paradigm shift. They have to get on top of their health. Somebody drops dead, you say it's juju from the village. No, it's not. You've got to stay on top of your health. So like I said, my advice is for government to fund cancer, and if possible, they should subsidize medication, and there should be no, you have to drop deposit before we take you in with regards to cancer. You know, I think the government should take cancer very, very, very seriously and fund it.
Awesome. You know, you hit a lot of very important points on this. And maybe because, you see, that's why I always say to people, when people who live with disease are trying to go to people who either are decision makers or stuff, it's important, and I'm an advocate for this, that the decision makers, policy makers, organizations need to be seeking advice on funding from the people who have the disease. Would you agree with me on that? Because somehow it's like I have a blog, and I'm like, no, you don't know what we go through. You don't know. You talked about your neurologist and your urologist and your medical team, and I always say to people that the chemo itself is not our problem. It's everything else that goes with it that really is a rattle. It's not the chemo. Chemo is like everyday sickness, right? What do you say? Come on, you talk to me.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head. For me, you have to go through it to be a subject matter expert. I mean, you can reach out to me with regards to anything that has to do with bladder cancer, medication, the procedure, whatever has to do with it. So you have to leave it to be a subject matter expert. So I agree with you that government and non-governmental organizations should reach out to patients. There has to be a feedback loop. It's when you have a feedback loop that you can identify the things that are going wrong and the things that the government should do. Otherwise, you just be providing what the citizens don't need. So like I said, I've lived through it. I went through this journey, and sometimes when I'm on my recovery bed, I think about those in Nigeria. What would they be going through? If I was to be in Nigeria, I'm sure I would have been dead and long forgotten. But I thank God that I'm in a developed world where the rate of death as regards cancer has dropped tremendously. If you recall, when we started, I told you that bladder cancer was a death sentence because they didn't even know about it 20 years ago. But thank God for technology. Now look at the statistics you gave. 75% survival rate. And I belong to that 75, and I just can't thank God enough. I've been through the valley of the shadow of death. I came out the other side.
I'm glad that we're
grateful
about
I'm here.
it.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
glad we're laughing about it because I want survivors to see that there is hope out there. You've been in, you've come out. I'm in, and I'm in 7 years. This is my 8th Christmas, and I still took chemo this morning. So to those of you watching us, please, together we fight this battle. You're not on your own. There are lots of us out there. We really want to engage. This is not just a program. AIT has really done us well to give us this platform, and honestly, we want to make sure we use it to the best of our abilities. So now I'm going to go again to another one. The social and mental challenges of cancer patients. Now, you looking at it from your perspective, because from what you just said, it was a grueling, is that the right word to use? A grueling experience, right? I always say any persistent illness can be cancer. Any persistent. And I make the statement, I had a headache, and today I have metastatic breast cancer from a headache. I didn't have anything else wrong, just a headache. Now you've said you had
hematuria, blood in the urine.
Blood in the urine, thank you. And that's where it sends you to. So to the viewers, what would you say to them? Because our mental health is really important.
You have to be on top of your health. I keep saying it. Like, I'll give you an example. If your pinky toe hurts, that might just be your blood pressure high. There are little signs that we should not overlook. And then another thing we want to do back home is probe further. Don't listen to the doctor, because most of the doctors back home, all they do is, oh, you have malaria. They look at your eyes, they write. Make sure, because it's your life, it's your health, make sure you probe further, and don't just toss it away. Make sure you probe further. That way, if it's cancer, it can be caught early, and that's my advice.
This is interesting because it's an indictment, and currently we have with the jackpot syndrome going on within the medical space. It's a shame because oncologists in Nigeria, they're less than 100, and we've got 200 million Nigerians. So
you can imagine the amount of urologists.
Between me and you now, we are appealing to the government. Please help us to save lives. We really need you to invest in the cancer space. I want to say you agree with me on this because
I do, and again,
really
I want to give it to the private sector. You have hospitals like Duchess International. Now you have Iwosan Lagoon. They are dedicating their medical fights to cancer patients and all that. But they cannot do it again. They cannot do it alone, and they're doing it for those that have the money. If you don't have the money, you can't go to Iwosan, go to Duchess International. Those are international standard hospitals. What about the masses? So I want to plead with the government to dedicate teaching hospitals, universities, one in every region, the 6 regions, so that way cancer patients can have access to subsidized medication, and then medication, drugs should be subsidized, treatment should be subsidized, and the government should make sure that our universities, there's resources there for those that want to japa to stay back and study specializations in urology, oncology, and the rest of it, not just OB-GYN or GP, general practice and all that. So these are specializations, and this is what the developed world, what they've done. They've specialized in such things. Another thing that comes to mind is I know they pay a fortune for dialysis back home. Those are things that the government should subsidize, because it's not everybody that has the money to go abroad. They have the money to go abroad, but we should think of the masses. And that's more reason why we need servant leaders, in Nigeria, those that will put the masses first for themselves. I'll leave it at that. That's a subject for another day.
I'm glad because you've given me, I wanted to ask you, give me 3 requests that you would ask if we were sitting in front of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What would you have asked on behalf of cancer patients? And you've asked me.
I'll repeat myself.
Exactly. No. You don't need to repeat yourself. You've asked me, and that's the point I was about to say. You've asked me yours, and one of the things I want to first say to the viewers is that Duchess and I don't know the name you've mentioned, but there are a lot of fantastic. Private. So Nigeria, please, there are a lot, and they are coming out of different states, and the doctors are from all over the world. So please, so that viewers understand, it's not an advert for this organization. They are some fantastic, and I've visited them. So please don't narrow your views. And in the same conversation, if you need help to find a hospital that has an oncologist, just reach out to us. We'll always tell you where, because there are a lot of them in Nigeria. It's not, so let's not get rattled with the fact that Manny has just mentioned those 2. They are not the only 2. There are lots of lovely ones out there. Now I'm going to say, and Manny, please tell me, very quickly, give me your take home from here, because I've got to tell people about our Christmas special.
Well, my take home in one sentence: cancer is,
because I have to make it fast.
Cancer is not a death sentence. That's all I'll say. There's life after cancer. You can beat it, and that's why we're here advocating for us to beat it. That's it. That's all I'll say.
And viewers, I want to say very, very big thank you, Manny. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Ejo, for having me.
And this conversation is a continuum, and to our viewers, together we fight. I keep going on. Together we fight. Together we're going to win this. To Dark Communications, I cannot, and all of us, the cancer patients, we cannot say a big thank you to you for all that you do. Giving us a space to actually get people discussing is big. So as we come to the festive season, we take this opportunity to once again thank our sponsors, our communications, our viewers who are always there, and our sponsors. We have this year Christmas boxes, gift boxes that have been sent out to Port Harcourt, the hospital out there, and it's going out to Abeokuta, to cancer patients out there who are in the medical centers, the federal medical center. So Abeokuta is Federal Medical Center, and Port Harcourt is their cancer center. So I'm hoping that those of you out there, you will enjoy your Christmas. It's a small token on behalf of the Common Cancer Foundation family across the world. And I know that many of them also have things going on, and lots of NGOs across Nigeria have a lot going on for you. Please take advantage, but above all, wherever you can get tested at no cost, just get it done. At minimum cost, just get it done. If you need to get tested, just ask for help for those. Those are the things that will save life. So thank you all for joining me. We've got one more episode this 2023. And that one is going to be a discussion on how we've gone through the year and all the things we've done. So follow us all on Common Cancer Foundation, on any of our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. This program will be on YouTube for you to download and actually watch it again. And you can see us. You can see a lot of things on LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn. So I want to say thank you. And for that, Manny, please, can you tell us your NGO once more, please?
It's ENO Foundation. It's my initiative for bladder cancer advocacy. You have a lot of advocacies for women cancer, but not the men. So this is a face for men cancer. Once again, I want to thank you, Dr. Ejo, for all you do. Thanks for the collaboration. And to my friends and family, compliments of the season. I wish you all the best this season, but above all, enjoy with caution.
That's it from me. I want to say very Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm not seeing you again to the other side. It's Christmas holiday, so it's Christmas after Christmas. So I want to say have a lovely, safe Christmas, please, and enjoy yourself. And wherever you are, just remember that someone next to you might need something. Be a friend, be a helper, and be a source of encouragement. Thank you to AIT. Have a lovely Christmas, everyone. See you after Christmas.
Bye.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Ejo, and her guest there, Manny Osifo. Of course, enjoy with caution, Manny says there, and then be a helper to anyone around you who you can help this season. Interesting one there. Do have a great day and a great week as well.
Have a lovely, safe Christmas, please, and enjoy yourself. And wherever you are, just remember that someone next to you might need some